Ladies, let me talk to you today, not just about relationships, but about understanding the man you love. Because if you don't understand how he thinks, how he feels, and what drives him, you might be fighting a battle that could have been won with a little knowledge and a lot of love. Now listen, loving a man is not just about saying I love you. It's about showing it in a way that he feels it. So today, I'm giving you 7 secrets to loving a man and loving him right. Respect is one of the most powerful ingredients in any relationship. And for a man, it is often the very foundation of how he interprets love. You can tell a man you love him 100 times a day, but if he feels disrespected, those words lose their meaning. Respect is not just about what you say, but how you say it, when you say it, and the energy behind your words and actions. For many men, respect is deeply tied to their identity and self-worth. When they feel respected, they feel valued, appreciated, and empowered. When they feel disrespected, it cuts deeply, sometimes more than a lack of affection ever could. Respect starts with communication. It's the tone of voice you use when you speak to him, especially during arguments or moments of frustration. You may not realize how powerful your words are, but a sharp tone, sarcasm, or belittling remarks can pierce through a man's confidence faster than anything else. Instead of tearing him down, learn to express your feelings in a way that still honors who he is. Saying, I feel hurt when this happens is much more productive than you always do this, you never care. Respectful communication creates an environment where he feels safe to open up and listen rather than become defensive or shut down. It also means acknowledging his efforts, no matter how small. When a man takes the trash out, fixes something around the house, or works hard to provide, don't overlook it. A simple thank you, I appreciate that, goes a long way. It's not about inflating his ego. It's about letting him know you see him and value what he does. Men often thrive on feeling useful and capable. When you respect his efforts, you encourage him to keep showing up for you in bigger and better ways. Respect also shows up in how you talk about him when he's not around. If you're constantly criticizing him to friends or family, that energy will eventually find its way back to him, and it erodes trust. Speak highly of him in public. Defend him when someone disrespects him. When a man knows you have his back in front of the world, it builds a deeper bond of trust and loyalty. Another layer of respect is trusting his judgment. If you're constantly second guessing his decisions or micromanaging everything he does, it can make him feel like you don't believe in his ability to lead or contribute. That doesn't mean you should blindly agree with everything. Partnership is about teamwork, but there's a way to question and discuss without belittling. Ask for clarity, offer suggestions, but don't treat him like he's incompetent. Finally, respect means accepting that he is human. He will make mistakes. He will have flaws. Respect allows room for imperfection without constant criticism or nagging. When you give him grace and let him grow without tearing him down, he feels safe enough to become a better man for you and for himself. At the core, respect is not about submission, fear, or control. It's about mutual honor. It says, I see you, I value you, and I trust you. When a man feels respected, his natural response is to give back love, protection, and commitment. Respect is not just essential to loving a man, it is the key to unlocking his heart. Being a man's safe space is one of the most powerful ways to love him, because the world he steps into every day can be harsh, demanding, and unforgiving. Men often carry the weight of silent battles, the pressure to succeed, the responsibility to provide, the need to appear strong even when they are exhausted inside. Many of them have been taught from a young age to hide their pain, to man up, and to push through life without ever showing weakness. That's why having someone who allows him to drop the armor, be vulnerable, and still feel loved is a gift he will never take for granted. Creating that safe space starts with emotional openness. When a man feels like he can share his thoughts and struggles with you without being judged, mocked, or dismissed, he will let you into parts of his heart no one else gets to see. Sometimes he may not even have the words for what he's feeling. Patience matters here. You don't always have to fix his problems. Sometimes he just needs you to listen. listening without interrupting or rushing to offer advice, tells him that his feelings matter and that he matters. Being his safe space also means offering comfort when he's going through challenges. If he had a bad day at work or feels defeated, don't minimize his feelings. Saying things like, it's not a big deal or just get over it can make him shut down. Instead, acknowledge his experience. I can see that was tough for you, or I'm here for you. This simple act of validation helps him breathe easier and reminds him he's not facing the world alone. Another part of being a safe space is allowing him to be himself without constant criticism. When a man feels like he's under a microscope, that everything he does is wrong or not good enough, he begins to withdraw emotionally. It's not that he doesn't care, it's that he doesn't feel safe being around someone who always highlights his flaws. Encouragement is much more powerful than constant correction. When you focus on what he does right, you inspire him to keep improving in other areas. A safe space is also a place of peace. If every conversation turns into an argument or confrontation, home becomes a place he dreads instead of a place he craves. That doesn't mean you avoid tough conversations. It means you choose your battles and approach issues with love, not hostility. Speak gently, even when you're addressing serious topics. Creating peace doesn't require silence. It requires respect and understanding. Physical presence matters too. Sometimes being his safe space is as simple as sitting beside him, watching a show together, or sharing a quiet moment without saying a word. Your calm presence can help him recharge. It tells him that he doesn't have to perform or pretend. He can just exist and still be loved. Lastly, being his safe space means celebrating his victories. When he wins, no matter how small the win may seem, celebrate it with him. Be the first person he wants to call when something good happens, because he knows you'll be genuinely happy for him, not dismissive or competitive. When a man finds a safe space in you, he will keep coming back to it. He will give more of himself, share more of his heart, and build a deeper connection with you. A safe space isn't just where he rests, it's where he grows. And when he grows in that environment of love and acceptance, the entire relationship grows with him. Supporting a man's dreams is one of the most powerful ways to love him, because it speaks directly to the part of him that is driven by purpose. Most men are wired to chase goals, to build something meaningful, and to prove to themselves that their lives matter. When you stand beside him as he pursues those dreams, you do more than encourage him. You give him fuel to keep going when the road gets tough. And trust me, the road will get tough. Every dream comes with challenges, setbacks, and moments of doubt. Your support can be the difference between him giving up too soon or pushing through until he succeeds. Supporting his dreams doesn't mean losing yourself or sacrificing your own ambitions. It means creating an environment where both of you can grow. When he talks about what he wants to achieve, listen with genuine interest. Ask questions about his plans, his vision, and the steps he's taken. When you engage in his world, you let him know his goals matter to you just as much as they matter to him. That level of interest strengthens his sense of connection with you and reassures him that he's not in this alone. There will be times when his dreams seem too big, too risky, or too unrealistic. In those moments, your words carry weight. You can either be the voice that says, you can't do this, or the voice that says, I believe in you. Belief is powerful. When a man feels like the person he loves most believes in him, it ignites something inside him that pushes him forward. He'll work harder, stay focused longer, and fight through fear because he knows he has someone in his corner. Supporting his dreams also means being patient with the process. Big goals don't happen overnight. There might be long hours, financial sacrifices, or times when you don't see immediate results. This is where many relationships get tested. It's easy to support someone when everything is going well, but true support shows up when things are hard, when he's frustrated, when money is tight, when success feels far away. In those moments, encourage him, remind him of his why, and help him refocus. Your patience and faith can give him the strength to keep going. At the same time, support doesn't mean blind agreement. If you see a better way or a potential problem, share your perspective with love. Constructive input can actually make his dreams stronger. The key is to present your thoughts in a way that doesn't crush his spirit. Instead of saying, this will never work, try, have you thought about doing it this way? This keeps the conversation collaborative rather than confrontational. Celebrating milestones is another part of supporting his dreams. No matter how small the progress may seem, recognize it. If he closes a deal, finishes a project, or achieves a personal goal, celebrate with him. Your excitement will motivate him to keep going and will make his victories feel even sweeter. Finally, remember that when you support his dreams, you're building a deeper partnership. His wins become your wins because you help create the space where those dreams could grow. And in return, most men who feel supported will naturally want to return that support, helping you chase your own dreams with the same level of passion. Supporting a man's dreams is about more than standing on the sidelines cheering. It's about walking with him through the journey, believing in him when others doubt, and reminding him of who he is when he forgets. When he feels that kind of unwavering support, he doesn't just chase his dreams. He chases them with you by his side. Learning a man's love language is one of the most transformative things you can do for your relationship because it ensures that the love you give actually reaches him. So many couples struggle not because there's no love, but because it's being expressed in a way the other person doesn't recognize. You might be pouring your heart out in the way you know how, but if it's not the way he receives love, he might still feel distant, unappreciated, or even unloved. Learning his love language is about taking the time to understand how he feels cared for, valued, and connected, and then speaking to him in that language consistently. Every man is different. Some men feel most loved through words of affirmation. They need to hear, I'm proud of you, I appreciate you, or I love you. These words build them up and give them confidence. If this is your man, compliment him often, celebrate his strengths, and speak life into him even when he's struggling. Your words can be a source of encouragement that keeps him moving forward. Other men feel love through acts of service. For them, actions speak louder than words. When you do thoughtful things like make his favorite meal, handle a task he's been dreading, or help make his day easier, he feels cared for. This isn't about doing everything for him. It's about showing love through intentional effort. Physical touch is another major love language. This doesn't just mean intimacy, though that's often important too. It means the small gestures like holding his hand, rubbing his shoulders after a long day, sitting close to him on the couch. For some men, touch is how they feel secure and connected. It reassures them that you are present, attentive, and emotionally available. Some men value quality time above all else. For them, nothing says, I love you like undivided attention. It's not just being in the same room. It's putting away distractions, having meaningful conversations, doing activities together, and making memories. When you give him your time, you tell him he matters more than the noise of the world. Then there are men who feel most loved through gifts, not necessarily expensive ones, but thoughtful ones. A note left in his car, a snack you know he loves, or something that shows you were thinking about him during your day can make him feel incredibly cherished. It's about the thought, not the price tag. The key is observation. Pay attention to how he expresses love to you, because that's often how he wants to receive it. Notice what lights him up, what makes him smile, what makes him soften. Once you know his love language, practice it often and intentionally. Even when you're busy or frustrated, find ways to speak his language. It doesn't have to be grand gestures every time. Consistency matters more than size. Learning his love language also takes humility. Sometimes we give love the way we want to receive it, but real connection means stretching ourselves to meet the other person where they are. It might not always come naturally, but the more you practice, the more natural it becomes. And when he starts to feel love in a way that resonates with him, he will almost always respond by giving more love back to you in return. Love is most powerful when it's understood. When you take the time to learn how your man receives love, and make it a priority to express it in that way, you build a deeper emotional intimacy. You stop missing each other and start connecting in a way that keeps the relationship alive, fulfilling, and strong. Keeping the romance alive is one of the most important ways to sustain passion and connection in a relationship, because love should never feel like it has gone stale. When a relationship is new, romance often happens effortlessly. The dates, the flowers, the little surprises, the late night conversations. But as time goes on and life gets busier, those things can fade if you're not intentional. Romance doesn't have to be complicated, expensive, or over the top. It simply means consistently finding ways to remind each other that you are still choosing one another, that the spark is still there, and that you are willing to keep it alive. Romance begins with effort, and effort is a choice. Many people assume that passion just fades with time, but in reality, it fades when we stop feeding it. Small gestures make a big difference. Send him a sweet text in the middle of the day. Leave a note in his wallet or on his car dashboard telling him you're thinking of him. These small acts may seem simple, but they create a sense of excitement and intimacy that keeps the relationship vibrant. Surprise is another powerful element of romance. You don't have to wait for birthdays or anniversaries to celebrate each other. Plan a spontaneous date night. Cook his favorite meal when he's had a long week, or plan a weekend getaway just because. When you add moments of surprise into the relationship, you remind him that love is an adventure, not just a routine. Even something as small as suggesting a new activity or revisiting the place where you had your first date can rekindle beautiful memories and create new ones. Playfulness is also a key part of keeping romance alive. Laughter is deeply intimate, and when couples laugh together, they bond on a different level. Don't be afraid to be silly with him, flirt with him, or joke around like you did when you first met. Playful moments break the heaviness of daily responsibilities and remind both of you that being together should be fun, not just serious. Intimacy, of course, plays a major role in romance. Physical connection is more than just a physical act. It is emotional, mental, and spiritual. Prioritize intimacy, not just as something that happens spontaneously, but as something worth protecting and making time for. This might mean creating the right environment, dim the lights, play music, or set aside time just for the two of you without distractions. Make him feel desired and wanted. When a man knows that his partner still longs for him, it fuels his confidence and strengthens the bond between you. Romance is also about attention and presence. When he talks, listen. When he shares something important, remember it. When he has a big day coming up, check in and ask how he's feeling. Being emotionally present shows him that he's not just a part of your life. He's a priority. This presence keeps intimacy strong because it builds trust and emotional closeness. Finally, romance is about expressing gratitude. Tell him you appreciate him, not just for what he does, but for who he is. Gratitude is magnetic. When a man feels genuinely appreciated, he will naturally give more love, attention, and romance back to you. Keeping romance alive is not a one-time effort. It's an ongoing choice to nurture the relationship and keep the spark burning. When you keep the romance alive, you create a love that doesn't just survive the years. It grows deeper, richer, and more passionate with time. It reminds both of you why you fell in love in the first place and why you're still choosing each other today. Trust is the backbone of every healthy relationship, and without it, love cannot fully flourish. For a man, trust goes beyond believing he will be faithful. It's about feeling that you see him as capable, reliable, and enough as he is. When a man senses that you truly trust him, he steps into a higher version of himself, not out of pressure, but because he wants to honor that trust. On the other hand, when trust is missing, even the most loving relationship can start to feel heavy, suffocating, and filled with tension. Building trust begins with giving it. If you constantly question his every move, check his phone, or assume the worst, you're sending a message that he has to earn basic respect before he's even done anything wrong. Trust is a gift, not something that should be dangled like a reward. If you've chosen to be with him, give him the benefit of the doubt until he gives you a reason not to. This doesn't mean ignoring red flags or being naive, but it does mean creating an environment where trust is the default, not suspicion. Consistency is another key to building trust. Be reliable with your words and actions so he knows he can count on you too. Trust is not a one-way street. When you keep your promises, respect boundaries, and remain honest, you set the standard for transparency in the relationship. When trust is mutual, both partners feel safe enough to be vulnerable, open, and authentic. Avoiding the urge to fix him is another crucial part of building trust. Many relationships suffer because one partner constantly tries to mold the other into their version of what they think they should be. When you approach your man with the mindset that he is a project that needs improvement, you unintentionally send the message that who he is right now is not enough. This can damage his confidence and create distance between you. Loving someone does not mean controlling them or changing them. It means inspiring growth by creating a space where they feel free to grow naturally. If you see areas where he could improve, share your thoughts gently and respectfully, not as a demand, but as encouragement. For example, instead of saying, "You always do this wrong," try, "I think this could work even better if..." This approach allows him to receive your feedback without feeling attacked or belittled. Trust also grows when you respect his individuality. He is his own person with his own thoughts, feelings, and dreams. Give him room to make decisions, take risks, and even make mistakes. Part of trusting someone is trusting their ability to learn and grow from their experiences. Hovering over every move he makes or criticizing every misstep will only make him retreat emotionally. Forgiveness is another cornerstone of trust. No one is perfect, and there will be moments when mistakes are made. Holding on to grudges or bringing up past failures every time there's a disagreement erodes trust over time. If he has acknowledged a mistake and taken steps to make things right, allow the relationship to move forward. Trust cannot thrive in an environment where past wounds are constantly reopened. Ultimately, trust is about freedom. It allows both of you to breathe in the relationship, knowing that you are loved for who you are, not for who someone is trying to make you become. When you build trust and let go of the need to fix him, you allow love to grow naturally without force. And when a man feels trusted and accepted as he is, he will often rise to the occasion and work to become the best version of himself, not because he has to, but because he wants to.